Welcome to Julie's Wreath Boutique. A little different look than what we normally do here on Sunday nights. But a few weeks ago, I got on my social medias and in my groups on Facebook and even on YouTube here. Did you know there's a community here on YouTube? Well, if you didn't know that, make sure to go to the community posts on your YouTube landing page or wherever. So I posted, ask me anything, whether it be about me, about crafting, about business, all those fun things. And we have a lot of questions. So we're just gonna kind of dive right into it and get started with the first one, which I thought was a pretty good one. The first one is from Carol Thompson, and she wants to know, how did I get into crafting? Carol, I was born into it. That's a good way to put it. Here's the thing. My mom was a huge crafter. And if you don't know this, my mom died when I was 18 after like a 10-year battle with cancer. And one of the things that she did is she loved crafting. And this was back in the 80s, and she died in the 90s. So one of the things that she did very often was she made me clothes. So if I got a new dress for church, she probably made it. If I got a new outfit for school, she probably made it. And one of the things that we would do together as I grew, like at 8 years old, if I wanted something made, I had to cut out the pattern. So that's kind of what started my love for crafting. And then every Christmas, she would make all of her sister-in-laws a gift, and it was always something handmade. And in some way, she would bring me into the fold. And I remember making bows because I saw my mom making bows. If you watch a bow making video, you'll see the Mary Casey bow. That's my mom's name. And it's really kind of, I was born into it. My mom was a crafter, and she passed that love onto crafting to me, of course. And little did I know, at learning at a young age, that someday crafting would support my family. So that's pretty much how I got into it, was my mom. Here's a question by Bernie McDonald. She asks, where do you buy your craft supplies and how do you get a discounted price? That's a great question. And it really depends, number one, on what you're making, right? So if you are into all sorts of crafts and you want to go to Hobby Lobby and pick up all the supplies there, that's great, right? But I started off supporting small business early on with like the Wreath Shop, Trendy Tree, Wreaths of Joy is where I like to shop. As far as discounted, I do have a coupon code for Wreaths of Joy. You can get 10% off if you use, I want to say my coupon code is Julie, all caps. But as far as like getting things at a discount, that is like a different whole animal. So like when I first started wreath making and I got really popular with making the flower wreaths, I offered flower kits years ago. And so what I did was I contacted the wholesaler directly. But the problem with that is if I wanted, say, white poly burlap, I had to buy a whole case of white poly burlap. So unless you need like really bulk items, like if you know what you're making and you're selling, really wholesale is really kind of a higher threshold for you to really get the discount and make it worth it. Now, if you are making a product to sell, I would highly recommend finding what sells for you. That's kind of what happened to me, and this might answer somebody else's question. When I started making wreaths, I ended up selling all kinds of things, but I also was trying to figure out what my niche was in the wreath making world. Eventually I landed on flower wreaths, and that's kind of what I kind of became known for and kind of got my start on YouTube and with a sunflower wreath tutorial, and then we went to daisy wreath and so many, okay? And here's the thing. The sunflower wreath for me was a very cost-effective way to make money. I knew always how much it was going to cost me to make a wreath, and I knew how much time it was going to cost me to make a wreath, and I knew what my profit was going to be. So that was really kind of key for me. But there's a lot of great online sellers for craft supplies, and I'll link all of the craft suppliers that I use down below. Okay, so another question is Jennifer Lazinger. I think I probably am not saying that correctly, and I apologize. She asks how to cost a simple but beautiful wreath, nice ribbon but over the top. So I'm thinking you're meaning how to price a wreath. So here's the thing with pricing a product, because there's a lot of people who have a lot of opinions on it. You're going to hear, oh, 3 times whatever your cost is. And there's whatever formula that you end up using is going to be right for you because that's where you're comfortable with, right? But it really kind of depends on what, number one, how much money you have into a product. So if you've got $100 into supplies and it takes you 2 hours to make it, and then it takes you an hour to market it, you really have got to pay yourself an hourly rate. And one of the things that I want people to keep in mind is you have a talent that other people who are purchasing from you usually do not have that talent. Don't pay yourself minimum wage, okay? So if you want to keep it cost effective, then you need to find things that, number one, it's not going to cost you $100 to make the wreath, right? Because if it costs you $100 just to make it, your turnaround needs to be almost $200. And sometimes, unless it's just something over the top and people are just really wanting, those are a little bit harder to sell. So I feel like it's better to think having a smaller price point. And so what I would recommend is, number one, you need to decide what is your value as far as what you want to make per hour. Maybe you're not going to make as much at the beginning. I charged $49 for sunflower wreaths. And then by the time I was done selling wreaths, because I don't sell wreaths anymore because I just didn't feel like I had the time, and my time was better used in other areas now. But by the time the basic sunflower wreath, I stopped selling wreaths, I want to say in 2021. And I want to say a basic sunflower wreath for me was $89. So it went from $49 to $89. And then add on inflation to that, that basic wreath, it's probably would be more like $109 today. So it's not an easy answer for you, and I wish I had an easier answer. My team is working on a calculator for you guys in Julie's Biz Boutique. If you decide to join, having a calculator that would help make that easier to understand. And again, we do that kind of thing in Julie's Biz Boutique. All right, Betty Goodlow, I hope I pronounced your question or your name correctly, says, do you mix silk or fabric, greenery, and plastics in the same design? And I think what I understand, like silk flowers and maybe fabric flowers and kind of different kind of textures. If you look at the wreath behind me, that is a wreath we made on Amazon Live. I had a lot of fun making it. It's for my sister-in-law. But the textures of the tulips I use and the texture of the greenery is very different. So the greenery is basically plastic, and the texture of the tulips is more lifelike. It's not silk, but it just has like a kind of a soft, not plastic, but kind of a soft foam feel. So yes, I would definitely mix textiles. I would mix different mediums in your wreath making. It's all about the finished product. It doesn't have to be one way or the other. And that's what I want you to think about when making a wreath or making a craft. Use your creativity, because sometimes a happy accident can turn into an amazing wreath or craft. Martha Hughes wants to know, how do I embellish a deco mesh wreath with greenery and flowers? So that's a great question, Martha. So I have made wreaths before, and I'll try to put it in the description box below, but you can make a base of a mesh wreath, whether it's a ruffle or a cruffle or like a, what is it called? Like a curl method or even like a poof method. So after you get your base made, you can go in and add your ribbon if you want to do some ribbon bundles. And then what I would do is I would do this. I have a couple of pieces of greenery here, okay? I would take, this one has a lot of glue on it, but I would take a stem or a floral or like a greenery bush that I get at Hobby Lobby or the Wreath Shop. And basically what I like to do is I like to kind of dissect it. And basically you can either tie in with either your zip ties or your little like stems that are on your work form. You can tie these in, or you can even use hot glue, depending on where you live and where this wreath is going to be held. So you can add it in to different parts around your wreath and really kind of bring it all together. So I really like those designs. I feel like they're not as popular here in the north in Michigan as maybe in the south, but I've made a lot of wreaths like that. So I'll try to link down below in the description box for you and maybe another wreath tutorial you can watch. All right, Lori Spinell, I hope I said your name correctly, Lori. She has a 3-part question for me, which I thought was a really good one. She says, of all your collaborations with other crafters on YouTube, which project was your favorite and who surprised you the most? And if you could go back and redo one of your projects from a collaboration, which one and what would you do differently? Okay, I'm gonna answer the last part of that. The one that I would do differently is I did a video with Designed to the Nines. She has an amazing channel. If you haven't subscribed to her, you need to. I'll link her down below. But she made all these amazing different projects. I mean, she got power tools out and it was all about home decor. In other words, just did a wreath and did like a little pot that I put some foil on and added some florals. And I did another little kind of DIY thing that I really kind of like felt a little underwhelmed with my work. So if I had to do anything over, I would probably redo that video for myself, not for her. She did great. But I kind of felt like I didn't really hit the mark, so to speak. The next part of the question, the first part is, what was your favorite collab? Oh, this is such a good one. Well, as far as collaborations with other crafters, I really always have loved doing a collaboration with my friends, especially if I know them in real life. That I feel like that makes it even more special. I just did one with my friends from the mastermind I'm in, and we did like a little Christmas collab, and it was like 6 or 7 of us, I believe, and we all did our own little take on a Christmas gift idea or a Christmas craft. And I like when I'm with a bunch of other crafters and we can do a lot of things. I feel like we get to have like a little crafting marathon. So I really like that one. As far as who surprised me the most, I remember back in the day, I would do collabs with This Southern Girl Can and A Noble Touch. And one year we took the football frame wreath from Dollar Tree, and Amber made the coolest like corn, like fall corn out of beads. And that was really cool. I felt like that was really good. You know, all I did was do like a fall, like floral centerpiece. I didn't really feel like mine was that inventive, but Amber, she hit it out of the park. So in Julie's Wreath Boutique, the Craft, Create, Connect group, and if you're not in these groups, just join them. They're public groups. Anybody can join. Martha wants to know, I want to know how to make a teardrop wreath and what frame do you use? Martha, let me tell you, we just did a teardrop wreath and we used a teardrop wreath from the Wreath Shop that I purchased probably last year. And basically what I did is I used a, I'm trying to think the right words, the pine branch kind of ones. And I know I'm probably not using the right terminology, but I'll link it down below. And basically you look at it and you think, well, that's for Christmas. Absolutely not. And I show you how to do it in a Valentine's kind of version. And then I feel like we did a Christmas one last fall. So I'll link both of those teardrop swag wreaths down in the description for you, or even there'll be a little card up here and you can just click on that and go watch those videos. But listen, it's really easy and you can purchase them, and you can get like white ones. You can get, some places sell purple ones and orange ones, but the Wreath Shop, Trendy Tree, and Wreaths of Joy will all have them for a pretty good price. So the way that you put it all together is you will add mesh, and I added really pretty ribbon, and it just turned out beautifully. Unfortunately, I just sent it out last week to my sister-in-law. She was really in love with the Valentine's swag that we did, so I sent that to her. But it's super easy. It's probably one of my favorite ways to make a wreath right now is using the swag, because I love the kind of different way to do it, and the way that we added ribbon, and it just is so easy. So make sure to go watch that video. All right, so from my Facebook page, Caroline Polk asks, like many of us, I'd like to work with beautiful things as a real job. Besides selling crafts, what are other ways to make money and be around ribbon all the live long day? I love this question, Caroline. Okay, so did I think 10 years ago that I would have an opportunity to work with Hobby Lobby? No. Did I think that I would be on YouTube with 450,000+ subscribers? No. Did I think that I would be a social media business coach, because it all started from learning how to craft and sell those crafts, and now I teach people how to do what I did? No. Did I think that people would actually buy tutorials of wreath making that nobody else was offering at the time? No. So my point is, there are so many ways to make money in today's world. So I want to kind of paint a picture for you, okay? So Caroline, you want to be with ribbon. All my ribbon is over there. It's a hot mess express. It needs to be organized. I probably need to purge a little bit of it, but we all know that's kind of difficult to do. So here's the thing. I began my career in Julie's Wreath Boutique as I would make wreaths and I would sell wreaths. In the first full year, I started in October of 2015. So in 2016, a first full year, I believe I sold about $30,000 to $40,000 worth of wreaths in my first full year. That was just mind-blowing to the stay-at-home mom. I literally wanted to make a few extra $100 a month. That's it. And boy, did that change. But here's what came with that realization. My hands and my time would only allow me to make so much money if it was just a physical product that I had to make. So what did I do? Number one, I started making tutorials. And we had a tutorial up on YouTube, and I was in a blog and it got shared, and there's a whole story in the background with that. But I was able to get monetized on YouTube fairly quickly. Now, when I started getting monetized on YouTube, we were not talking about hundreds and thousands of dollars a month. That didn't happen. But the more consistently that I started uploading to YouTube, I would get into the hundreds and the thousands of dollars a month. It's kind of comical to me. I found a video years ago on what does Julie's Wreath Boutique make on YouTube? And it said that I made like $600 a month. And at the time I was making thousands a month, and I had a lot of views on my videos. And I feel like before TikTok came on the scene, we were making a lot more money on YouTube than we do today. But my point is, one of the things that I did on YouTube was I didn't only teach people how to make something, but I taught them I said, do you want to buy the supplies for this? Well, you can get them on Amazon, or you can get from the Wreath shop, or you can get them from Trendy Tree, or wherever that would give me like an affiliate link. So there's a whole nother world of people. So you've got the people who want to buy your product. They don't want to make a wreath, right? Or they don't want to make whatever craft you're doing. They want to buy it from you. Number two, you've got the people who love to learn and they want to make the product. And so they're going to watch you on YouTube. They're going to watch you and say, oh, I need that supply. I am a sucker for people who I see on social media and they're teaching me how to make something. And then they say, you can find it in my Amazon storefront. I'm there. I'm there. I will support you. I will buy it from your storefront because number one, I'm not only supporting you in what you're doing, but you're doing me a favor by saying, this is where you buy the product and this is how you do it. And it doesn't cost me anything extra for you to get an affiliate. That company pays me that money. They don't charge you that money. So keep that in mind. So you've got the product, right? The person who wants to buy from you. They just want to buy the product. They don't want to make it. They just want something pretty on their door. Then you got the person who wants to learn from you. So there's more than one way to make money. That's your second way. And then you got your third person. And this is the third person who thinks that they can make it on their own. They'll spend a lot of money trying to figure it out. And then they'll say, no, I'll just buy from that tutorial from Julie. When I first started out, I started selling some tutorials, and those tutorials still aren't on YouTube. I still sell them. I probably need to reshoot them. But they're techniques that I did and people wanted to learn. And once one person bought one tutorial, one digital product, every time I came out with another digital product, they purchased that one too. So my point is, number one, you got your product. Number two, you have digital products that you can make once, and it can be an evergreen product. We teach all of this in Julie's Biz Boutique. Number three, you have content creation. When I first started out 10 years ago, Facebook wasn't paying me, but I'll tell you right now, Facebook pays better than TikTok these days. I'm just being really honest with you, okay? TikTok pays me. YouTube pays me. Instagram sort of pays me. Pinterest used to pay me, but that's a whole nother animal in itself. And then there's affiliate income. So I have had opportunities with working with Amazon, with working with there's so many different sites out there. There's an app called the Mavely app, and I'm going to leave my link down below. Mavely makes it really easy for any creator to be able to share a link to Walmart or to Home Depot or to any of these places that they have links with. And what I like about the Mavely app is that you don't need a large following. And so I'll leave that down below too. This description box here, I don't know, we may have to do 2 parts on this. That's another way you can make income as well. So there are so many different things. We teach this all in Julie's Biz Boutique. I really encourage people to do digital products. And guess what, guys? We have something huge coming for home decor soon. And I'm so excited about it. So I hope that kind of encourages you. I kind of started out with a project, but it just grew from there. And it's just, I knew that there was going to be a ceiling if I only sold a digital product. And I sold kits to crafting wreaths and stuff too. So that's another whole thing that you could do. Okay, so Trish Ripley asks, can you recommend a spring wreath idea for a single man for his front door? He is not much into flowers. I am stumped. Thank you. I think this is such a great question because I just recently made a wreath for a single man, my son. He has a home and he had the same wreath on that door for the last 3.5, almost 4 years that I made like 4 or 5 years ago. And I said, literally, I'm going to make you a new wreath and you're going to throw that in the trash. And so I personally made him one that did have flowers on it, but they were more like blue and orange. They weren't like really feminine colors, but I used a lot of greenery. So if a guy wants a wreath, and he doesn't want a mesh wreath, I honestly would go with greeneries. I would add maybe some moss to it. I would add instead of a bow, maybe a navy blue, what is it called? A sash that you could make and just put it at the bottom of the wreath. So I would use a grapevine wreath. I would add greenery to it all throughout it, or just a side of it. Maybe find out if he wants his monogram on it. So what if his last name begins with an M? You could go to Hobby Lobby or any of the places I just mentioned and find like a monogrammed letter, maybe in black, and have his letter of his initial on it, and maybe do just a sash of ribbon instead of doing a full bow. But that's probably what I would do. So I hope that helps. All right, so we have a question from Debbie Deb on my Facebook business page. And she says, "Hi, Julie, I'm a crafter at all kinds of things if I'm up to it. My question is, should a crafter stick with items most on demand or keep crafting a variety and keep a not necessarily large clientele, but one of different style and interests?" Do you understand my question? Sorry, I was trying to make sense, but sometimes I don't. No, I think you make perfect sense. So what I'm getting from that question, Debbie, is, okay, I like to craft a lot. I like to do, maybe you like to do sewing and wreaths, or you like to do needlepoint and wreaths. So my first question is there a unique way to merge the two things that you love, or the multiple things? I think that it's not a bad idea to have more than one like product. One of the things that I regret the most with doing my business, and I think it might surprise you guys, is my name, Julie's Wreath Boutique. That really limits me to wreaths, right? But I loved crafting of all sorts. I love like scrapbooking, junk journaling. I love floral arrangements. I love, one of the things I want to learn soon to show you is it's called a felt needlepoint. I did this little sewing project over here, and that's going to be on YouTube if you haven't seen it, if it has, or maybe it's next week, I don't know. But my point is there a unique way to bring the different things? I mean, if you already have a craft room with all these supplies, start making it and start sharing it with the world. But when you name your business, make sure it's a name that can cover more than just the one type of craft, right? So when people think wreaths, they think of Julie, right? But do you think of me when I say, hey, you want to learn how to make this really cute little journal? We did this on Amazon Live. It's like a little portfolio, and I show you how to make this little envelope here. And you don't necessarily think of Julie's Wreath Boutique for this, but I love crafting and I want to share everything. So I would definitely add other things. We have people in Julie's Biz Boutique who do wreaths, and they do tumblers, or they make the signs for wreaths, or they do jewelry, or they do needlepoint and embroidery. So it doesn't have to be one thing or the other. It can be multiple things. I hope that makes sense. All right, this one is from Betty Goodlow. She says, "I see suppliers selling their products and creations live on Facebook. How do you sell creations on Facebook?" Well, there's a number of ways. There's different programs, and I don't know if it's called an app or not, but comment sold and different things that people use. I don't particularly use those products, because when I see people using it, they're usually using it to sell supplies, right? One of the things that is a new product on the line or out there is called Whatnot. It's an app, and you can use that as a live selling tool to get people on that app, and you can sell your product that way. Another thing that you could do is you could go live on your Facebook business page, and you could say, hey, we've got these wreaths, and you could say, comment whatever, and let's start the bidding off at this much, and you could have a bid process in your comments. Now, that is not necessarily a way to surefire that somebody will follow through with the purchase, but you could send them an invoice with PayPal and see if they'll follow through on that. But what I would probably recommend is, if you really want to sell your products, you can sell it on Facebook Shops, Facebook Marketplace. but I really would encourage you to maybe start somewhere like Etsy. I know a lot of people have difference of opinions on whether Etsy is a great platform. It's where I started. The fee structure is very different than when I started to where it is today. But guys, when you start on a selling platform, they have people to pay and they do a lot for you. So keep that in mind when you're building in the structure of what you need to be paid for your product. Now, with that said, you should always go towards the mark of having your own website someday, and that is always a good idea. So I would really encourage you there. But you could definitely sell on Facebook Live. And again, Julie's Biz Boutique is great for that. We're literally doing a training for live selling really soon, if we didn't already do it by the time this video shows up on YouTube. So that's a great question. So we've got Beulah, and I'm not sure how to say it all on YouTube, but she wants to know, or he wants to know, how do I get into your teachings on how to expand and help with business? That's a great question. Julie's Biz Boutique is open. So if you are ready to change your business, this is where you start. If you're ready to start a business, this is where you start. If you're ready to learn how to use social media in a way that's an effective way to get people in front of your content, this is where you start. I just finished a course called ChatGPT for Creatives, and I literally teach you how to use ChatGPT in a way that is a game changer. So let's just say you're not ready to join Julie's Biz Boutique at all. You know what? Purchase this course, and you're going to learn how to use ChatGPT in a way to save you time, especially if you're someone who's working another job and you're trying to start a side business at the same time. Using AI is a great tool to do that. But regardless, if you're ready to change and make a change in your life, Julie's Biz Boutique is a great place to start, and I'd love to have you. Basically, we do 4 trainings a month. Usually a Q&A is in there, a live with Julie, or I teach at least 2 different subjects a month. We do Etsy reviews, social media reviews. We do what's trending on social media. And if you want to learn if you want just like a little sneak peek, I'll leave a little bit of an unlisted number or link to a video. That was a training we did at the beginning of February of this year. Or I'll leave it up here. So if you see a little card, you can click on that and watch it and kind of learn what it's like to be in a training with Julie and Julie's Biz Boutique. All right, so we have a question from Sonia Montoya, or Tinny Montoya. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Again, if I mess up your name, I apologize. She says, I've been crafting for a long time, but I'm just starting out business-wise, so I would like to know how to plan and choose what and how much supply inventory you need, and how do you get the capital to do it? If you watched earlier in the video, I told you the story of my husband saying, okay, here's $500. So getting the capital, it really kind of depends on your circumstances, whether that be using a credit card. I never recommend using a credit card and not paying it off. I don't like debt in business. I don't think it's a good way to start off. Maybe saving some money and setting it aside to do little bigger things. But honestly, I kind of feel like if you're not using social media to your fullest potential, it's a little bit harder to make the money that you need. And I know that I feel like on Etsy specifically, Etsy used to bring in a lot of income for different makers, but it's a little bit harder because there's a lot of people making crafts on Etsy, and they really kind of push people ahead of the line if they purchase Etsy ads. But there's a lot of things that you could do on Pinterest. Pinterest is one of the best platforms to push revenue into your Etsy shop or to wherever you sell, whether it be on Facebook or on a website, whatnot, right? And those are things that you have to kind of determine for yourself. Okay, am I going to go into debt for this? Am I going to save my money for this? Am I going to try to sell some things and make money from that and then just take my time in building that kind of cash flow for it? But I think having the right inventory, when I started out, like I said, I was just trying to make all sorts of different wreaths that I wasn't really good at. And if you're going to make a lot of grapevine wreaths and floral wreaths, this is expensive. I'm just going to be honest with you. If these are the type of wreaths that you're going to make, you really need to be very good at it. That's where the flower wreaths came in clutch for me, because I could get away with one roll of yellow poly burlap, a few pieces from the green roll, and a little bit from the brown roll to make the center. And I was able to keep my costs. When I first started out, I think I had maybe $16 in product into that wreath. So I could sell it for $49. I could make it in 45 minutes because I got really fast at it. And, I was able to do well with that. Now, if you're going to be making 7 different styles of wreaths, you're going to have a lot of inventory issues. So I would really kind of start and mainly work on the area that, number one, what do your friends and family are like? You are amazing at this. You need to use this. You need to do this. What is it that you're amazing at? Is there some sort of digital product that you could offer as well? It takes you a little bit of time to come up with, but you can share it on social media so many times and find a following on social media that they'll keep buying that digital product. So it's really not an easy question to answer, because number one, I don't really like the thought of taking out a loan for something like this, because, it's just, I hate the whole debt ratio thing when starting a small business. But I really do feel like social media gives you an advantage of finding people and asking your friends and family to follow you and say, listen, you don't have to buy one thing from me, but if you will comment on my post, if you will share my post, if you will just interact with my actual content, that will help me more than you know. Because what happens is they might comment and their friends will see your product, and they may not purchase, your friends or family, but their friends or family might purchase because they don't know who you are, and they don't have that kind of stuck thinking that, oh, she can just make it for me. It doesn't cost her anything, that sort of kind of myth out there. But I would definitely figure out what it is that I do that makes sense, that people are like, you really need to sell this. You need to teach a class on this. You need to teach people how to do this on YouTube, whatever it is. So I would really kind of start with that. All right, Jerry Rippin, I hope I said that right, wants to know, what percentage do you mark up wreaths to sell, and how do I get started besides craft shows? That's a great question. Number one, it goes back to the question that was asked earlier, how to sell, how to mark the wreaths or how to price them. You really need to decide on how much you want to make an hour. You have a talent, you have a craft, you have something that not everybody has. So don't pay yourself minimum wage. If you want to make $20 an hour, that's where you start, right? And then you need to kind of deduct whatever it is that you have into the wreath, okay? So when percentage wise, it's not really always an easy answer. But I would say, how much money does it take you to make this wreath, market this wreath, and ship this wreath? And then base it on what you want to be paid hourly. Do you want to be paid $15 an hour? Do you want to pay $20 an hour? What is it you need to do? But that's where Julie's Biz Boutique comes in, because we teach you how to post easier, how to take the guesswork out of doing social media, how an email list is an important tool to have for your business. That's one of the mistakes I made early on, is I didn't have a good email list. I didn't start it because I was scared. And there's a lot of things that you can do that you don't think you can do. Again, 10 years ago, I was a mom with a toddler and a baby, and one in high school or early in high school and one in college. And we were just trying to make ends meet. And so if I can learn it, and I'm now almost 52 years old, gosh, you guys can do this too. It really is possible. And I just want to be a part of your journey, if that makes sense. So again, look in the description box below. Join Julie's Biz Boutique. What do you got to lose? Learn how Facebook works. Learn how Pinterest works. Are you not playing the Pinterest game? Did you know that that's the only platform that they literally say, come to Pinterest and leave our platform? No other platform does that. TikTok, they want you to stay on TikTok. Facebook wants you to stay on Facebook. YouTube wants you to stay on YouTube. Instagram, the same. So if you're not using all the tools that are available to you, that's where I come in. I teach you those tools. So I hope you guys will take advantage of that. This has been a lot of fun. If you want to support my channel here on Julie's Wreath Boutique on YouTube, you don't have to buy a thing. You don't have to pay me anything. But if you purchase from Amazon, go to my Amazon storefront and see if there's something that you were going to look for anyway. Go to my links that I leave for your craft supplies. It helps pay the products that I make over here for you. If you like makeup or hair care or skincare, I'm really into this new brand called Celeste. And I've been using their hair care, and I don't know about you guys, but I've always had thin hair, and I've been using their shampoo and conditioner, and it's really given me a lot more volume. If you love makeup like I do, which your girl does here, I love their makeup. If you're into skincare, check it out. If you love Amazon, and I do Amazon Lives every Monday night. If you want to watch me live, join me over on Amazon Live. We have so many things that we have going on in Julie's Wreath Boutique world here. We can definitely make sure that you find something that you enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see when I edit it if it's a part 1 or part 2. But I hope you loved it. I hope you'll leave me a comment down below. What do you want to see more of? Maybe you have a question that I didn't have an answer. Let's have a conversation in the comments, all right? And if you love this, let me know and we'll make more videos like this. What other questions do you have that I can answer? So I hope you guys are doing great and have an amazing evening. And if you're thinking about starting a business with your crafting and you're thinking, I don't know if I can do it, let me tell you, I did it and I can show you how to. Join Julie's Biz Boutique, or maybe if you're not ready for that, get my course on ChatGPT for creatives. It'll be the best $27 you've ever spent. And join Julie's Biz Boutique. I bet you're going to learn something that you never knew. So we'll see you next time in Julie's Wreath Boutique. We'll have a great craft the next time. And most of all, thank you for watching. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Bye.